Hey, Simply Sugar here with the Evening News Rundown. Let's get started. President Donald Trump declared a complete and total ceasefire between Israel and Iran via Truth Social, you know, where we're supposed to get all our policies and information from our government now. The ceasefire is set to be implemented in phases. Iran will be first, followed by Israel 12 hours later, culminating in an official end of hostilities after 24 hours. This announcement came after Iran symbolically bombed a U.S. facility in Qatar called El Udeid Air Base. I say symbolic because Iran gave hours warning before they initiated the strike, so Qatar was prepared to deflect those missiles. I think they allowed maybe one or two to hit, which caused minimal damage, and I'm sure that U.S. air base was cleared of personnel and of, important equipment. So I guess it's a win-win. Why would Iran do this? I don't know. Anytime the U.S. has gotten involved in their government, it's caused chaos there with regime changes. We are known to do that, to go in and remove or replace governments, at our behest, and who's going to work with us, period, full stop. That's our game plan. We tried to do it in Cuba, it didn't work, but it worked in other countries. What's the end game here for the United States? Because Iran still keeps their nuclear enriched uranium. So I'm not sure that's how it's called. It's called enriched uranium, which is a precursor to a nuclear warhead. So they get to keep it because we didn't destroy anything over there, even though we sent this B-2 bunker busting bomb over there. What's the end game here? Why all of this pomp and circumstance, at least between the U.S. and Iran? So the U.S. gets to save face with Israel because, we did what you asked. Beyond that, it didn't work. So Iran gets to keep their uranium and their program. And the U.S., I guess, gets to say, we helped both of you. I don't know what the end game is here. I know that the U.S. is going to benefit, and Donald Trump in particular will probably benefit financially from this situation, because that's what he's all about. Any policy he's created benefits him somehow. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm very curious as to what you think the end game is. Let's move on to the Supreme Court. They gave a decision in a pivotal case here. So the Supreme Court is going to allow deportation to third countries. Meaning, if I'm from Uruguay, they can ship me off to Sudan. Why do this? If they're allowed to ship you off fast and quickly, let's talk about the decision first. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration can resume deporting migrants to countries other than their own country of origin. This decision lifts a lower court's injunction that had required the government to provide migrants with notice and opportunity to contest, so due process. So now we're just going to be shipping people off to third-party countries. Why do we want to do that? We want to avoid due process. We want to avoid the Constitution, right? When I say we, I mean the United States, not me. I don't believe in any of these policies. So it allows the United States to avoid due process, responsibility for, human beings that came on this soil. There's no oversight because this is a third-party country, not our countries and not our facilities, so they can treat people how they want. And then finally, we shift the financial burden, kind of, sort of, because we're going to probably be paying these countries to take these migrants. And then after they collect their fee, what you do with them is what you do with them. SCCOD is a concentration camp, and I'm sure it's like that at the other countries we're going to send them to. We're not going to send them to a friendly country. We're going to send them to a country to probably be taken advantage of in the most horrible ways possible. That's just my opinion. Of course, Justice Sotomayor in her dissent expressed concern over potential life-threatening consequences for deportees, and I agree with that. The Department of Homeland Security, of course, is cheering this ruling. Moving on to the New York City mayoral primary. So there's a couple of polls out there. I voted for Mamdani. I did not rank Cuomo. So according to one poll at Emerson College, it shows Cuomo leading initially with 35%, followed by Mamdani at 32%. However, in a ranked choice voting simulation, Mamdani overtakes Cuomo in the final round with 51.8% to Cuomo's 48.2%. Mamdani's surge is attributed to endorsements from progressive groups. There just seems to be a lot of momentum here in New York for Mamdani. I can tell you that much. I think we're Cuomo exhausted here. I'm talking about the regular people. I'm not talking about the rich corporations and the super rich who kind of like Cuomo because he takes care of them, because rich people take care of rich people, and that's just the fact. I think also his sexual harassment charges is leaving a bad taste in everyone's mouth, including my own. You know, I just asked myself a simple question: would I trust him around my daughter? And it was just that simple for me. Beyond policy, can I trust this man around young women? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Plus, I don't like his policies, and I think it's antiquated, and New York needs to move in a different direction. So that's why I'm going for Mamdani. Those are the only stories I'm going to cover this evening. Please let me know your thoughts and leave me your opinions. I read all of them, and I am always curious to learn from someone smarter than me and someone who maybe has a difference of opinion. Please like, share, and follow if you can.